Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Earth Child Tarot. This is for the sign of Aries, all signs of Aries, including your North and South node. This reading is going to be your past life reading. So this reading is I'm going to keep it as organized as I possibly can, but whatever cards fly out at me, those are the messages that your past life wants you to know, because I'm reading for a huge, like everyone. So each person has their own past life and their own past life path, okay? And for those of you who understand past lives or want to understand more, and you embrace that type of information, everyone has some type of similarity based on your South node or your North node in your birth chart. So all of you may have similarities in your past life. But you may be from a different planet, a different culture. You may have been a very different person, but there are still some things in your life now that show you that there was these traits that you had in your past life. So we're going to see what you struggled with, your journey, and what you were interested in, things like that, to understand more about your personality now and how you can grow and improve those traits as you move on in your life. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in, Aries, for all signs of Aries, okay? Let's see here. Universe, source, archangels, deities, ancestors, universe, source, spirit guides. For the sign of Aries, all signs of Aries, for their past life energies, So some cards are going to fly out. That's just one card for one sign, and it may be a couple other cards for another sign. So we'll see how many cards fly out for you, Aries. And if no cards fly out, then that means the card at the top of the deck is the one the universe wants you to have. So I don't want you guys to feel that I'm pulling more cards for another sign because I favor them. It's just about the messages that come through for you, okay? So Aries, for the sign of Aries, for their past life messages, for Aries. Let's see. Aries. Okay, so let's see. You got two cards, which is interesting. Sorry, I have to get the book. So I'm still learning about this deck. So you have strategy, and then we have questioning. There was something that in your past life you were trying to figure out, Aries. Okay, you were trying to figure out something. You were trying to find answers to a specific question, but we're gonna find out what these cards are saying. Okay, so first we have strategy. We're gonna read that card first. So let's see. Strategy. So it says admitting how far you are willing to go and how much you are willing to sacrifice should precede all plans. So it says here, first decide that you will find a way to get what you want. Brainstorm ideas and ask for advice from others who have succeeded at what you were trying to accomplish. So Aries, in your past life, there was something that you wanted. There was something that you wanted to figure out. And you may have struggled with asking questions. You may have felt like you knew exactly how things were supposed to work, instead of realizing that there may be a struggle or something you went through in your past life where you already felt you knew exactly what factors played into it. You knew exactly how it was going to turn out. You knew what was going on, instead of asking questions from someone in your life or someone that you met in your past life who had already gone through it, and they had a different type of perspective because of what they went through. So there are those of you who may still struggle in this life with asking questions and realizing that your perspective on a certain situation or issue can be completely different from someone else, but that does not mean that they're wrong. Everyone has a different experience, right? So it's just like the questioning card. I'm more familiar with this card, but this card is all about asking questions, being open to advice. But you may have had a problem with questioning other people too much and thinking that, well, they're wrong, I'm right. Question yourself, Aries, because I know that this is a past life reading, but this is also about advice from your past life about your life now. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't feel that the world is against you because it doesn't have the same opinion. Okay, you have different paths. We all have different paths. And we all have our own perspective on it. Does that mean that we're all wrong all the time? No. Are there moments where we are wrong? Yeah. Right? There are moments where the other person is wrong? Yes. So wherever it is that you were trying to get to in your past life, which we're going to get into in your reading, Aries, you probably needed to do a lot of research and understand people around you and what they had gone through, and also people who you looked up to who had gone through the same thing. Okay, so that's very general, but those are the messages that are coming through for your past life so far. All right, but there are those of you who did research a lot. You were a researcher or some type of explorer. It's kind of like what I was saying to Pisces, but there was something specific that you wanted to achieve. And there may have been people surrounding you in your past life they knew exactly what you wanted, and they knew how to help you get that because they had gone through the same thing. So someone that you work together with, or maybe a group of people, possibly, that's what I'm picking up on for some of you. But for others of you, it could be a small portion of you, you may have felt alone, because you just didn't feel in your past life. There are a couple of you who may have felt in your past life that no one could relate to you. So you had to find a different way and a different strategy to get this certain thing that you wanted. All right, so let's go ahead and pull some more cards, some more oracle messages for your past life, Aries. For the sign of Aries, for their past life messages, universe source. Give me messages of all types for the sign of Aries, for their past life messages and experiences in their past life. Universe, source, spirits, ancestors, archangels, deities, for the sign of Aries, for their past life messages. Aries, for their past life messages. Ooh, okay. For Aries. All right. Okay. So, we have She Who Laughs. This is all about humor and finding the humor in everything, or finding the humor in a certain situation. So I feel, Aries, that in your past life, you didn't really take things too seriously, or maybe you just laughed at what everyone else was doing. I think you took certain things too seriously on your end, but everyone else but you were very observant though. So we have cunning woman. So you just kind of had this very like humorous type of perspective towards what other people were doing in your past life. And you questioned it. You just kind of felt like, why are people doing that? Like, what is the point of them? Why do people react this way? Like but you were willing to sacrifice so much for something. You wanted something. It's interesting. The bottom of the deck, you have desire. So you wanted something. Others of you had people who would laugh at you, and they thought that you were hilarious for wanting something. But you moved in a very stealthy way. You saw what you wanted, And people may have thought that it was hilarious that you wanted it, but you're like, no, you guys are hilarious. Like, why wouldn't you want this, right? Or why wouldn't you sacrifice everything to have this? But you knew that you were going to get this because you have the Queen of the Darkwood Elves here, and it says premonition, foreshadowing, mystery. So there was something that you knew was coming, or you knew that something was coming, or you knew that there was something that you were going to achieve. And you put this priority, this endeavor first. Bottom of the deck, we have the Yule Singer, just like Pisces got. So if your South Node or your North Node is in Pisces or Aries, then that may say something here. But there are those of you who you knew. I'm getting a message for one of you or a couple of you that in this life, it could be your past life too, in this life, there is a psychic who told you something was going to happen or you were going to achieve something and you didn't take it seriously. So if this psychic came to you in your past life, they're going to appear, if they haven't appeared already in this life, they're going to appear to you in this life again in a different form though. They're going to tell you the same thing. From your past life they told you, this spirit or this entity or this psychic or whoever, there are those of you, one or two of you have this message where a psychic told you something, you laughed at it, and then it happened. And this same energy is here in this life saying something to you, that something, you're going to get something, you're going to achieve something, or there's something that you're going to have to sacrifice to get something, and you may have laughed it off or didn't take it seriously. Okay? That may be for one or two of you. But for others of you, generally, you guys wanted something and you didn't care about what everybody else thought. You just kind of laughed at them. But there is someone here who actually knew exactly what you wanted, and they knew how you were supposed to get there. And this person helped you in your past life. Okay? And they may be still here. They reincarnated as someone else in this life for you. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and see. We've got a couple more oracle messages to pull for you, and then we're going to pull from the tarot. Okay. So universe, source, archangels, ancestors, deities, spirit guides for the sign of Aries for their past life messages. For their past life messages for the sign of Aries, universe, source, spirit guides. Please come speak to me for Aries for their past life energies, their past life energies for Aries. We'll pull 3 cards from this deck as well. For Aries. Okay, that makes sense. Very interesting here. Wow. So, Aries. All right. Remember, like I was saying, that there were people who laughed at you? Or maybe you didn't take something seriously because there was a psychic or a prophet or prophetess. There is someone who prophesied something for you and you didn't believe it, right? Or you prophesied something to a group of people and they didn't believe you. So you kind of had to find a strategy to help these people understand this is what's going to happen, or this is what we need as a culture, as a group, or whatever, right? There was something that you wanted, or there was something that you wanted other people to understand. Because you questioned, it seems like you questioned everything, but you still, okay, I'm getting something else. For some of you, Aries, you already knew that something was going to happen. So you didn't even ask any more questions. You just knew it was going to happen because you were a psychic or a prophet of some kind. Bottom of the deck, we have persecution and inquisition. So people did not, you went through a lot. People were not nice to you because you knew certain things that people were not ready to understand. You were trying to reach a goal that people in your culture or your world or city or village did not, they weren't ready to understand it, right? So we have trust and faith. So you had faith and trust. Now, though there are others of you who struggle with this today, you struggle with trust and faith in your life now, but in a past life, you had faith in some type of a deity or angel or spirit guide, or you had faith that something was going to happen. You just knew it was going to happen. Now, others of you, you didn't really believe that you wanted to fight the fact that this was going to happen, but it ended up happening. Someone prophesied to you saying that you were going to go to prison. You have imprisonment or slavery, that you were going to be taken, but then we have biblical. So this was on a biblical scale. It doesn't matter what type of religion you came from. This was religious. This was something that, now others of you, this is in the Bible, where you may have been someone in the Bible who followed Jesus or followed a certain discipline from the Bible, from Christianity in the ancient times, and you went through a lot because of what you believed in. People laughed at you, because you were prophesying something, Aries, in your past life. Now, others of you, you were being taught by someone who prophesied things. You saw this person. Yes, some of you guys saw someone who was a prophet or a leader in a biblical way or in a religious way, and you may have scoffed at them and you thought they don't know what they're talking about until things started to happen. And now in this life, you may still have a hard time with being open to things that just seem out of sorts or out of whack, right? You may just have a certain very staunch and strict mindset, Aries, in this life where you're like, that's not true. But others of you, you were a prophet or a psychic, and people did not take that well. They did not take that well in your past life. Okay? Very interesting. This is crazy. I feel that some of you guys were some type of a biblical person. Like you were in, some of you guys may connect with someone in the Bible, or specifically in the Bible, in the Christian Bible. Others of you, it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't have to be the Bible. It can be any type of religious book that your culture reveres. Some of you guys were someone in your religion in a past life, in an ancient times, that was persecuted because of what you knew. So some of you guys may connect with a certain ancient character from your religion, or an individual in your religion from ancient times that you guys revered or worship or look up to now, to in your past life in that day and age. You may relate to them now in this life a lot, but that's probably because you probably were them in some way, or you hung out with them, or you were around them in your past life. This is very huge, Aries. This is crazy. All right, let's see what the tarot have to say about more information in regards to your past life for Aries. The sign of Aries, all signs of Aries for their past life energies, universe source. Yeah. Bottom of the deck, we have death. Scorpio energy. Some of you guys were a Scorpio, so a lot of things happened to you in your past life, Aries. You guys went through a lot in your past life, but you guys were determined. You guys brought a lot of change. You have the Wheel of Fortune and death here. You guys went through a lot in your past life because of the change that you brought to your culture or to your people. or to the world. You brought something to the world that the world was not ready to embrace. Then we have the King of Swords. So there may have been a ruler or someone in charge or in government that they didn't like you. They didn't really have like a connection with you. They didn't want to. They didn't want to embrace what you were saying. But others of you, this is you. You were someone who, you were very wise, because you see that owl on that staff? You were this King of Swords here, this Aquarius energy. Some of you guys could have been an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Scorpio. But Aries, in a past life, you guys were very strict on what you knew. You didn't care about, you knew how something was supposed to go. You were very strategic. You already saw how it was going to pan out. You were very smart too. Very wise, very smart, very, again, strategic, very calculative. We have the Three of Swords here. So you guys went through, you guys were not necessarily treated fairly. Again, because of the knowledge that you carried. And then we have the Knight of Swords, Gemini energy. You guys, whatever information you gathered, you ran with it. You didn't care about filtering your words to help people understand nicely. You just said it like it was in your past life, and people just didn't. They weren't ready for it, Aries. So in this life, there are those of you who may just say things, and people may not like the way you say things because it sounds harsh to them, but in some ways you're speaking, in the bigger picture is that you're speaking truth to them. But people in this day and age, they still don't really want to, we live in a day and age where people can be very sensitive, right? So let's clarify these cards for you, Aries, and then we'll be done. So yeah, you were definitely very, very truthful. Seven of Wands wanted to show itself. That's Leo energy. So you guys definitely upheld your beliefs. You didn't care. It was all or nothing for you. Bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. So there is someone that you may have trained under, but others of you, you may have been someone who, you may have been well off, or you may have definitely had some type of abundance, or you just worked very hard, but people still didn't like you for some reason. People really just didn't like you because of what you knew. We have the Capricorn energy, the Devil, clarifying the Knight of Swords. So there was something that you may have needed to learn in your past life. You may have needed to understand that, or for others of you, maybe you didn't really, now for those of you who were watching someone prophesy, you were very well off. And you didn't really like what this person was saying. You didn't want to believe it because it was too far-fetched. You weren't used to this stuff, so but you had a lot of money, for those of you, and because you were wealthy and you were successful, while listening to this person talk, either, you know, through word of mouth, or you actually watched this person speak in your past life, you for some reason, and that you just didn't really want to embrace it. Okay, and that may be something that's blocking you in this life. That can be for a couple of you, okay? But for the rest of you, or for the general message, for those of you who were the person that was prophesying, or this psychic, or you had these psychic abilities in your past life, someone trapped you or someone imprisoned you for sure with this Devil card here. You were definitely locked away, or because the Knight of Swords I also see as a soldier. I see the Knight of Swords as a soldier. So some of you guys may have been soldiers, men of war in the past, or women of war. Interesting. 10 of Cups clarifying the Three of Swords. So your happiness was trampled on because people around you felt you were trampling on their happiness with the information that you were giving. I hope that this is making sense to one of you. And then we have the Two of Pentacles clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. So you made change your priority. You wanted change. You wanted to change the minds of other people around you. That was your priority. You didn't have all the answers, but you just knew. Then we have the Four of Cups clarifying the King of Swords. So you were kind of just bored with everybody. You just felt like people aren't getting it. You didn't really want to connect with people because they just they didn't understand things that you understood. And so in some way you felt like, I need to change these people, I need to help them, but these people weren't ready, Aries. And in this lifetime, that may be something you might want to remember, is that some people are just not ready to hear certain things. Connect with people who actually are willing to understand what you understand, but also to be open to others' opinions as well. Because this is something that caused a lot of grief for you in your past life. Okay? Wow, that was crazy. That's a very, very beautiful reading, Aries. Much love and light to all of you. I wish you guys the very best of luck on this journey. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you guys in your next reading. Take care, Aries. Bye.